You'd burn David Cartwright to avoid being taken in yourself.
Though Slow Horses Season 4 adapts the fourth Slough House novel, Spook Street, it adds a few significant narrative modifications, like bringing Catherine Standish, Saskia Reeves, back into the fold. River Cartwright, Jack Lowden, finds the footprint file, which contains some damning MI5 information, at the end of Slow Horses Season 3. David Cartwright, Jonathan Pryce, his grandfather, decides to disclose the file even though River should delete it and uphold MI5's reputation. Although Slow Horses MI5 is not always correct, it causes a lot of agency modifications. Based on Mick Herron's Slough House books, the plot of Slow Horses Season 4 starts with some shocking events. One evening, a suspected terrorist launches a vehicle bomb into a crowded retail area. David, a Cold War-era agent turned paranoid, believes he is being observed elsewhere. Before she disappears, David fires and kills the visitor, who appears to be River. With what actually happened to River Cartwright and the deadly bombing apparently linked, Slow Horses' ensemble of characters is charged with piecing things together, with Catherine Standish playing a vital part. Catherine Standish returns for the fourth season of Slow Horses. Although she doesn't show until the later portion of Slow Horses Season 4, Episode 1, Catherine Standish is instrumental behind the scenes safeguarding the Cartwright men. Gary Oldman sends Jackson Lamb to the scene to identify River's body after it appears that David Cartwright shot and killed his grandson. The leader of Slough House reacts differently to his agent's apparent death, even if Jackson Lamb's rules are followed. The scenario, a bathroom covered in blood splatters, is quite graphic. Lamb even cracks a poor taste joke about not being able to genuinely recognize a faceless man. Lamb correctly guesses that River stopped after noticing Standish isn't asking any intrusive questions about her death. Lamb has a subdued but unusual reaction as he examines the victim's body. Undercovering his doubts, Lamb informs Emma Flight, Ruth Bradley, the head of the dogs, that River Cartwright is the victim in the bathtub. Lamb's instincts, though, guide him to Standish's residence. As her former colleague shows up, Standish is reading newspaper stories about the car bombing. Despite everything, she is unable to completely let go of her MI5 life. Lamb correctly predicts that River will stop by because Standish isn't pressing questions about her death. Standish eventually discloses that David is lying low in her house. Why did Standish leave Slough House in Season 3? Standish resigned from Slough House for good cause, even though she is struggling to let go of her decades-long profession. Slough House's ex-office administrator holds Standish captive for most of Slow Horses Season 3, but he has other reasons to be furious with MI5. Though it's what Lamb uncovers about Standish's longtime MI5 hero, Charles' partner, that drives her to retire, the information River spills about the agency's lack of responsibility most certainly plays a role. She still loves Slough House's agents, even if the jaded Standish stomach partner turned traitor. Lamb now appears to be in a better position with Standish. Less conflict exists in the pair's dynamic when the Charles Partner Company is finally out in the open, something Standish has unwillingly embraced. Standish is a good agent. Thus, in the first episode of the season, she is reluctant to tell Lamb what she knows. How different Standish's role is in Season 4 of Slow Horses. Standish occupies a distinct place in the narrative, along with Moira Tregorian, Joanna Scanlon, who has been condemned to Slough House to fill in for him in Slow Horses Season 4. Though Standish was Slough House's office administrator, she was always fieldable. Standish will have to put her knowledge to use protecting a paranoid and forgetful David Cartwright now that she is a civilian outside MI5. River's lookalike's motivation is unknown as of Episode 1, but Standish's inclination to support the Cartwrights will probably put her at risk as well. In some respects, what Standish isn't doing will define her Season 4 performance. Although Louisa and a few other chosen Slough House members have shown themselves to be capable on the field, the team of misfits is without certain important players cannot be changed. Not only is River out in France looking at the more general plot under review, but Lamb appears to be working quite alone on Spook Street. The loss of Standish from Slough House marks still another blow to the already shaky Slow Horses Season 4 team.